Hello, my friends, Takuya here, and welcome back to My Little Pony Hearts of Iron 4 in the year 2025. Oh boy, do I have something special for you all here today. Now, my friends, I'm sure you can already see it in the title of this video in and of itself, but a follower of mine who's actually been a longtime supporter and someone who I've spoken to on several occasions reached out to me because thanks to all the videos that we've actually made dealing with the Equestria at War, the My Little Pony variant of the Hearts of Iron 4 World War II game, the devs have actually done something very, very special for me here. Something my daughter has absolutely no idea about. As many of you may already be aware by now if you saw the video I did about a year ago, I'm actually in the game. If you go and play the Colthangian Republic, after like 3 civil wars, I appear within the game. But now, we're not going to be playing as the Colthangian Republic. No, instead, we are going over here to the Republic of Tabuk. A nation I've actually done, I think, once here before, but we're going to be doing things in a very different way this time. Now, for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, whether it is my videos in general or whether you are seeing this mod, this is Equestria at War, a truly massive mod, which I will say is probably one of, if not the best mod in the entirety of Hearts of Iron. I mean, the sheer level of detail that goes into this, the varying different races, the abilities, the new features, mechanics, everything that goes into here, and the story, the sheer amount of writing and art that goes into this is insane. You may think that it is funny or goofy or silly or childish, and to a degree, when you look at it, it really does appear that way. And then things get really dark really fast. I absolutely love this mod, and the first thing that we are going to do is live out our dream of being an arms dealer. I'm basically going to be Nicolas Cage from Lord of War for a while here. First things first, in order for us to get what it is that we need, we have to go through this whole deal with Pea Shooter first, where our leader, this guy, is actually planning on selling out the country and basically fleeing while laundering copious amounts of money in order to be able to live out his dreams, which that is the side story for this. For anyone who has seen the Republic of Tabuk, it is quite hilarious, but that is not necessarily what we're going to focus on, so we are going to beeline through this as fast as possible. So basically, for context of this nation, Tabuk is a recently independent state that got independent from Zarantia and is pretty much ruled over by oligarchs and warlords. After Pea Shooter over here steals a bunch of money and flees, it's then going to leave us with a series of options for warlords for who's going to be in charge. The Tricky Thestral, the Exiled Royal, or the White Severian. That thing. When I actually did this mod before, I remember we did the Exiled Royal because it was Bargzen, and there was a whole kind of sad comical thing for this guy's story. I still remember that. In this case, what we're going to be doing is beelining down the Tricky Thestral, which is the first step in this whole thing. In fact, I have the instructions right here that I was given specifically for this. Step 1, start a game as the Republic of Tabuk. There will be a mechanic to smuggle weapons to make money. Do whatever you want here, but make sure you complete the Tricky Thestral focus as soon as possible. That makes Walnut drive the dominant warlord and will ensure that he becomes leader once Pea Shooter is gone. Perfect. On that note, the art of the deal, we will go ahead and launch this, get our research out of the way. We are horribly backwards and behind, oh dear lord. So we're going to need to get basic guns, basic artillery, and then at the same time, basic industry out of the way. We have minus 40% to research because we are poor and stupid, I guess. Wow, that is a sentence to say. And we don't have the ability to actually build anything, so that's lovely. Instead, we're going to go ahead and get all of our military units that we have here. We're going to slap these on the border with Chiropterra, which I know that we're going to have to deal with at some point, and after that, yeah, this seems like basic stuff that we need here for military. I don't even need any convoys or anything, that's just going to be a waste of steel, so we're going to deal with this as we have it. And let's continue, my friends. The meeting. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this because I know that I did this specifically before when I did the video on the Exiled Royal. So basically, for context here, this is where Pea Shooter is determining, yeah, we're going to flee the country and steal a bunch of money, and there's not much time to waste because we have 1 year to settle our affairs before it is that we have to flee. I don't care about any of that, so instead we're just going to launch the 3 warlords. After that, we do the rules of good business. When it comes to gun running, there are some things that you should always do, and others that would probably get you killed if you were to have a go with them. These rules must be followed to a T unless we plan on ending up like the ousted Zarantians. If nothing else, the threat of retrospective irony is simply too great. See, I love the story writing that goes into all this. It's so lovely. After that, we launch the first rule. The first rule is to never get shot with your own merchandise. Sell it unloaded and sell it to the people way out of killing range. Walnut Drive is a true oddball compared to the other warlords, someone who seems to find new ways to break guns and expend ammunition. Lovely. A warning from the Imazib to the merchant peace shooter of Equestria from Mezukiza Aragon, Aguilid of Zarentia. You believe yourself clever that you managed to squirm into the wounds left by the Storm King and now fester there, like any other maggot. The thugs and bandits you've rallied may shield you for now, but every day that passes, let Zarentia regain its strength more and more, and we will not suffer this blight on our homeland for much longer. I write this letter only because there have already been plenty of death, and that you represented yourself as possessing at least one small shred of honor. When the year ends, you will flee across the seas to your homeland and never set hoof in Tabuk or anywhere else where our banner flies. If you or your ilk linger, or if you dare to touch these shores again, then your fate will stand as an example to the rest of the world. This is your first and only warning, rat, and may your gods have mercy on you if you do not heed it, for we won't. Yeah, there's the whole thing after the year is that Zarantia wants to take over Tabuk and like reincorporate it, but also Chiropterra wants to slaughter us as well. So that's the thing. So yeah, the tricky Thestral. Walnut Drive is not the smartest bat, but he has a way of showing up just when you don't need him to. If given the right incentives, he'll cause enough chaos and confusion on his own that the others won't realize the game until it's already up. Lovely. The deserter, a pea shooter, sat at his side desk in the presidential office, awaiting the arrival of his newest business partner. Relying on the warlords had always been a part of his plan, but as a result of recent events, he had decided quickly that the prudent course of action would be to pick up a favorite in order to sideline the others. Causing infighting in the military was certainly dangerous, but it might save his flank in a pinch, especially if the other warlords became suspicious. Well, if it ain't my generous benefactor, the familiar voice of Walnut Drive chimed out as soon as he entered the room, smile as wide as it could be. In spite of his typical seriousness, even Pea Shooter wasn't immune to the Thestral's charisma. It's good to see you too, Walnut, he returned with a slight chuckle. Given your presence, I am to assume that my proposal has piqued your interest enough to warrant further cooperation. The guest approached his desk, and instead of taking a seat in the normal fashion, he turned the chair around and sat resting his hooves on its back. Truly, Walnut was an odd individual, but no less interesting or personable for the many intricacies of his character. Well, I ain't one to pass up funds for my folks in the front. They deserve more than I can give them as it stands, so here I am for you. He admitted happily, entirely unaware of the foreign minister's intentions. I'm glad to hear that, P returned with an almost tragically genuine smile. Do make sure you send your dutiful soldiers my regards alongside whatever you decide to buy with the money, won't you? Thestral grinned. It'll be the first thing I do, and give my love to Bags and all when you get the chance for me. I almost feel bad that they ain't getting a cut of this. See, this is what I'm talking about. The story, all the stuff that goes into this here. It's just, there's so much writing that is impressive. At this point, it doesn't really matter what it is that we do. I'll give him a little bit of money here. Like the whole thing with Pea Shooter, this is an interesting thing, has no actual bearing on the rest of the game. It is a literal mini game for the beginning of this that if you give him money, you get like different kinds of stories for how much money you give him, for how happy he is with his family afterwards. If you give him nothing, he goes home crying, basically, miserable. And that's the end of that. You kind of feel bad that you didn't help this criminal escape. Warlord's suspicion has 3 days left, and yeah, this whole thing is about to collapse. Hasty retreat. The plan has certainly gone sideways. Yeah, we don't actually manage to flee. Pea Shooter's true intentions have been discovered by the warlords, be it by accident or through some active scrutiny on their part. Fortunately, he managed to escape with his life on a converted fishing trawler, but little else of his original strategy remained. Still, in the end, he was able to flee, did get some money, which I think was like, what, 20 million, I think, that he got here, which literally from just doing those couple focuses. We didn't have to waste political power on any of that crap. And there's a whole little thing here about being able to see his family. With that, we have the warlords take over. Bluntly, the nation was in chaos. With the disappearance of Pea Shooter, who'd been running the show for quite some time, and the sudden restrictions imposed by the National Guard, the warlords had descended upon the capital to ensure that their typical payments were guaranteed. Unfortunately, such a sudden show of force terrified many of the local civilians, and in particular angered the National Guard, who wanted to protect the Republic, their families, and their own paychecks. All the while, the authority that had been previously granted funds to both was nowhere to be seen. This morning, the unthinkable occurred. Thanks to miscommunication between National Guard regiments, a skirmish began between them and a warlord unit that rapidly evolved into an all-out city warfare between not only the Republican forces, but those of the disparate warlord bands who all sought to gain from the apparent power vacuum. Despite small amounts of assistance from the public, the National Guard quickly crumbled without the direction of any figures of authority. Their lackluster regiments were quickly routed and forced from the city, then disarmed and disbanded with volunteers largely allowed to return home, if of course they were willing to walk back into the city. Most wanted to wait until things cooled down before returning home. Needless to say, once the Republicans were out of the way, the warlords fought on in order to take what was rightfully theirs, and eventually it became clear that Walnut Drive, the rebellious apostate, had won out. Yeah, there we go. Look at this guy. Everything is on fire. Lovely. Let's see here, step 3. Once Walnut becomes leader, continue your focus tree as normal and defeat Chiropterra when they attack you. Wow. So, here we are then. We have our political focus on this side with the rebel apostate, and then immediately afterwards, we have the warlords of Tabuk and our docks and aircraft and basic stuff. This is all military things. Meanwhile, this is where our politics are. Which, actually, on that note, this provides us with military factories, so I am definitely going down the politics side first. The rebel apostate. The infamous apostate of Chiropterra, Walnut Drive, has taken control of Tabuk. This is a major opportunity, and he's not about to let it go to waste. First to decide which of the other warlords will be most helpful. Who's gonna help me? He had to get rid of one of them. That was the hard part. Making friends was fun, and having to dispose of any of them was a hard choice, but it was a choice he had to make. Walnut, usually number one for files and papers, was sat at a new desk with his hooves up, brow furrowed at the two dossiers in front of him. Bargazen and Alicia, the two exiles, one from another country, the other from another continent. Sure, they were monarchists and pretty traditional folks, but he was nothing if not open to even more disparate creatures. They were all warlords, at least they had bonded over that. Of course, the difficult decision remained. In spite of his musings, he needed one friend and one enemy to make sure his government kept itself upright. Work with one and target the other. The zebra appreciated a good party, but the earth pony was witty and fun to talk to. In different ways, they all got on like a house on fire. Walnut sighed and sat down to the dossiers with an uncharacteristic malaise about him. Who would he keep around and set against the other? So we either get two 12-width infantry divisions with artillery, or one 20-width infantry division with an engineer and artillery support. Ooh, the engineer and artillery support is actually really nice, but two 12-widths is ultimately more. Alicia could console him afterwards. Yeah, we will take that because it provides us with additional forces. After that, no chains, and then the pride of labor to get ourselves going. Gun runners are one thing, slavers are another. Slave traders, sweatshop owners, and those monsters who gave intelligence to the Chiropterrans to help them plan their slaving raids, they've all got to go. Walnut will make sure they repay their debt to their fellow creatures through hard manual labor, and that their assets are confiscated too. Alright, with this we will have basic guns as well as artillery, so that we can start improving things. Perfect. And we can start to get a basic industry underway. Oh look, Carthage is tearing itself apart. That's nice. That's just another civil war. The slave raid. We've received word from the units of Chiropterran border that their legionnaires have begun a lightning raid, descending with ruthless precision upon our border patrols and making a beeline for sparsely defended civilian settlement. Within an hour, they could reach the settlement and kidnap our citizens. We can scramble our forces and attempt to hold them off, or we can withdraw if we think we cannot defeat them. No, definitely defend. Quick, get our infantry specialist, hold on out, increase defenses, and yes, drive them back. Viva Walnut! He is a visionary generalissimo. Well, we know that we're going to have to deal with Chiropterra a lot, so Warlords of Tabuk. Hey, Warlords aren't so bad. Keep them paid, keep them armed, and they'll fight for any creature, even a crook like Vasil. P's problem was that he was a cheapskate who paid them ad hoc and never signed a decent contract. That will not be an issue for us. There we go, the Raiders defeated. The Chiropterran Raiders have been beaten back, defeated on the field by our brave soldiers. We've captured a few prisoners of war, but no pony who can give us any information on where or when the Chiropterrans will attack again, and no pony high-ranking enough to be useful as a bargaining chip. Still, we can congratulate our soldiers on a job well done. Yes, indeed. Basically, I just need to get through all this here until it is that I actually have a decent base to work with, I guess. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and actually try to stabilize our country, because in order for me to actually show what I want, I need to actually survive. And, that's not looking so pretty here right now. Only justice. We're gonna need some laws, naturally. Some good laws. Laws Walnut came up with, or at least ones his smartest friends did. Not laws based on stupid religions or outdated mores, but on cold hard truths and real vision. Only victory. Walnut Drive escaped Chiropterra, but not before getting some of their world-class military training, and he's smarter than all of them combined. He had to be, otherwise some other bat would have realized nightmarism was bunk before him. With him at the helm, we'll all be unstoppable. Oh great, another slave raid. Awesome. No gods. Yeah, we just basically destroyed all the religious facilities inside of the country. That's lovely. Yeah. Wait, did that say nationalist takeover in Hippogriphia? That looks dangerous. That looks very dangerous here to our north. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need a couple things. We're gonna need to activate limited conscription and actually get some more forces in here. And then, we need to start building up our defenses. I do not trust what's coming. Decadent normalcy. What is normalcy? It is what a bunch of old creatures say it is, usually to benefit themselves. From now on, no more hankering over normality or morality or other stuffy ways of saying no. We're just gonna do things. I am a visionary. Yeah. Dear God, you guys do not know when to chill. Now, next up after that, let's see. Ooh, military factory. Ooh, that is actually quite nice. Or all possible. This is giving me 35,000 manpower. I think. I think I have enough factories. Yeah, 35,000 manpower should actually be quite useful here at this point. Offer of mutual defense. No, Zarantia. I don't need any of that crap. Thank you. Chiropterra is finally justifying on us. Okay, well, here we go. This is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The looming threat. Concerning news has reached the administration today. Border scouts have begun reporting less than savory encounters with what we must assume are forward enemy elements of a larger army. Others have simply not returned to report at all. Though we received no official overtures from their notoriously difficult government, the conclusion to be drawn from these sudden incidents is simple. It is clear now that the Chiropterrans are preparing to invade with an unknown objective. Yeah, wiping us out. Like, what do you mean an unknown objective? You would think at that point it would be fairly obvious what is happening. With the death of Tabuk, we now begin to try and stabilize all of our stuff here. All mercenaries command, yeah, it's, increased division experience gain by 20%. That's actually really huge. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this going. There we have it, a declaration of war. Awesome. We just need to hold out really here for as long as possible. Oh dear God, this is actually quite strong. Quick, push all of our forces back, hold them as much as possible. I'm losing so many men. So rapidly too here, actually. Yeah, you all should be able to hold out here. That's fine. Oh, dear Lord, we are holding, but I'm also out of equipment now. All right, just throw the troops onto the front line. What have we dealt with here with losses here so far? 14,000 versus 60. Okay, all right. I think that we will be okay. I hope that we will be okay. There we go. Come on, just cycle back and forth. Cycle back and forth. Oh, this is a nightmare to try and balance. I am running out of... Okay, even now, I'm still in a deficit on, like, all this equipment and everything. We are just trying to desperately hold out. This is... All right, just keep on holding him back to build up our defenses more. Okay, perfect. Oh my God, we actually held. We held. Oh! And all it cost was 27,000 lives on our part for 140,000 on theirs. Yeah, they, at this point, I'm sure they burned through basically all their equipment. They have nothing there in that regard now anymore. But, I simultaneously don't have anything myself. So that's lovely. Can I push through? I might actually be able to push through this. Okay, hold up. Here, let's see if we can push through on this with them gradually weakened, and if we can do so, then maybe we can cut them off. There we go. That is a whole group of them. Nice. With that, we've wiped out their tank division. That is beautiful. But I don't have the forces to actually hold this territory or push, so we're going to retreat back. Let's see, we push through once again, and beautiful. There is another 3 divisions caught. And this is it. This should be the final push that we need. There we go. That's the troops in the south surrounded, and with those wiped out, there is actually nothing that can stop us here at this point. With that, we have the fall of the new that thing. And Chiropterra collapses. We get basically no equipment from any of that here because, I mean, what else would we get, I guess? And then we take everything. Lovely. That is absolutely beautiful. We have won victory's reward. As you can see, Generalissimo, the legionnaires of Chiropterra have fled into, sir, should we come back later? Walnut stood still as his tailor was measuring him for a new uniform. Nonsense. Continue, please, he insisted with a grin. He'd been hearing nothing but good things about his forces lately, so he decided to get a snazzy new outfit to celebrate his inevitable triumph. His lieutenants couldn't help but wonder why he decided to do this in the war room of all places. Said lieutenants briefly exchanged looks, then one of them continued. Well, sir, the remainder of Chiropterra's forces have fled to the countryside. Their leadership and command structure collapsed when we took their cities, and for the most part, the cities themselves are fully intact. However, the majority of their armories and arm silos were demolished before we could get to them, and... Hold that thought, interrupted Walnut. He frowned, looking at the map of Chiropterra on the central table. A moment later, his eyes brightened up and he flashed a smile towards his lieutenants. Is that one big hotel in the capital still intact? I think it was called Dreamscape. It should be. New Ayakachili is relatively untouched, but I don't see how that's secured immediately. With all due respect, sir, why? I just have a plan to host a party. Look at this guy. Look at this absolute legendary fella here. Well, would you look at that? I am out of manpower. All right. Well, that's lovely. No, I don't need these military things here anymore. Now, my friends, it is time to beeline down this side here. The preparations to host a party. My socialist comrades. Nifton might be old and Duskwane might be a moonspeaker, but they're decent folks, and that doesn't mean they don't have to have a little fun. Well, only so long as their joints and lungs don't give out. Oh, dear God. Instead of trying to stabilize the country, where my guards are fiercely trying to control everything, we're just gonna have a party. That makes sense. 2 old thinkers. Well, okay. I guess we're finding the communists here. Lovely. So, okay, we invite the communists, we invite the Harmony people, and we invite, what, the monarchists, I think? Maybe that's what that is? Or I don't know what that is, but we're inviting different people. Jumpy arrival. Okay, well, I'm not reading all this, but again, what appears to happen is that we invited the communists, now we're inviting the harmonists, the harmonists? Harmony people. We're inviting them. And ultimately, what it is that we're going to have to decide once all this is done is who exactly we are going to side with. Yeah, step 4. Once you defeat Chiropterra, Walnut will throw a party, and whoever finds him afterwards will convince him to change his supremacist government to a different kind, and ensure that Duskwane and Nifton find him. Okay, that's the communists. Am I going for a commie run in this? Well, we get to smash the estates and liberate the laborers. That's lovely. All right. What's that? Our soldiers are ransacking Chiropterra farm estates and destroying the properties almost entirely? Ha! Great! Give those ponies a well-deserved reward for their hard work. Hey, laborers are running away from the estates and into the arms of soldiers. Ain't that something? Well, order the soldiers to finish the job. Get the rest of them out of the hooves of the legionnaires. Don't miss a house. Beautiful. Oh dear God, I am actually running out of pony power in rapid order. That is lovely. And by lovely, I mean not lovely at all. Oh well, time to party. Every pony's here, and everything is sorted out. Been too long since we had a good party. Let's make this a night the best of our friends have ever had. Yeah! It's like the whole thing. First we have a mini game. Now we, deal with a bloody war. Then we throw a party. That's this game. The next morning, the sunlight alone was agony for some, although the noise and anarchy that subsequently found its way into the barely awake ears of the partygoers, even the ones that were still up and at it, although they were few and far between, finally had to take a moment and adjust as the real world came and tore them away from their drunken stupor. Here, already, guests had begun to get up and get out with their staff helping them and their unbearable hangovers, whilst others were trying to keep them inside. Some scuffles broke out. The outside of the hotel was utter chaos, and Walnut was nowhere to be found. Those that had half a mind to save more than just themselves tried to look for him, but apparently he had disappeared into thin air. The average lieutenant and business creature was barely even awake, let alone coherent enough to make a proper search party. However, by chance, there were some guests that were not experiencing the after effects of a long night of partying and drinking. The Generalissimo was eventually found by Duskwane and Nifton in the cellar wine storage. Stained red. I'm curious about one thing, Nifton. Why is it that you suggested hiding here in the wine cellar from the chaos above? Nifton coughed twice. Dusk, this is a place where ponies go to celebrate, not fight. Wine is also very valuable when intact, and thus... Wait, do you hear that? A long groan was heard from behind several large barrels towards the back of the cellar. The two comrades looked towards one another, then slowly peeked around the barrels. Therein laid an absolute mess of a pony, legs splayed out in all directions, and several half-drunk wine bottles spilled both on the ground and on the uniform of the one and only Walnut Drive. He opened his eyes, hiccuped, then half-grinned at the older ponies. Hey guys, how are you? Dusk let out a long sigh. Was this truly what Tabak had come to? A place where the important ponies partied all day while riots broke out all around them? His bones ached just thinking about it. He offered a hoof to the drunken warlord. Walnut, are you alright? Walnut flung his hoof in the general direction of Dusk's, but only connected on the third try. Yeah, never better. Was about use. Walnut, Nifton couldn't help but picture where Tabak might end up if Walnut continued on his path, or even if a united Tabak could survive in the state. Regardless, he also helped the young warlord up. We're just tired, that's all. Huh? Walnut rubbed his eyes, suddenly processing that his friend seemed to be more than just tired. No, you're not. Please, tell me what I can do to help you make you feel better. Dusk and Nifton looked at one another. They could see in each other's eyes that both of them had the same idea. One of them reached out to place a hoof on Generalissimo. Walnut, have you ever thought about including everyone in the celebrations, not just your friends? Oh, dear God. We just become communist. Like that. The United Northern Zebrica. It flips communist. Just like that. Which unlocks yet another massive tree. Okay, now it is that we can actually go down and start to fix ourselves. You can gradually remove illiteracy. We can go and industrialize ourselves, establish welfare. We can actually go and establish a communist state. Well, ain't that just grand? I guess we'll launch Legacy of the Steel Stallions so that we can get down here to gradually remove illiteracy. But then at this point, have fun with the charismatic Generalissimo as his companions duke it out on how to best establish the socialist utopia. But now, my friends, what we've been waiting for the entire time, the thing that I wanted to show. So, Joya, hey, do you want to come here? For those of you who have not seen, this is my daughter. This is Joya. She is 5 years old, and she loves ponies, and she loves destruction, which means she's kind of perfect for this mod in the first place. Joya, do you want to see something really cool?
Yes.
So after going through all this trial and error, after becoming a communist state here under the leadership of Walnut Drive, that's this guy here, right here, Joya, we now have a very special scientist that can be recruited as a political advisor. Hey, Joya, do you know who this is?
No.
This is Almond Joy Cookie. This is you.
Really?
Yeah, that's you. They put you in the game. You're a pony. Right here.
Oh,
That's you.
that's me. Wait, are those freckles?
Those aren't just freckles in here, Joya. You're I think a half zebra. So you're half zebra, half pony.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. And you know what? Guess what the best part about this whole thing is?
What?
Do you know what your special ability is?
No.
Your special ability is that you get to produce more airplanes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, you get to make so many airplanes. Let me read the description of this. Daughter of a famous academic historian, Almond Joy Cookies traveled overseas from her Coltage home as part of her university's study abroad program for a degree in aeronautical engineering. The Zoni, because you're a zebra and pony, The Zoni soon found herself attending college in the lands of Staliongrad, the home of the revolution in Equus. Galvanized by ideology, Amund dropped out of academics entirely and ventured off to spread the liberation movement of communism into the world, and the volatility of Tabuk offered the perfect opportunity for the young revolutionist. Mixing her acute knowledge of aerodynamics with ideology, Amund then joined the communist movements with the blank state and gradually became the lead expert in aeronautical engineering. So you became the head producer of airplanes.
Well, I wanted to tell you something.
Oh yeah?
Probably after this, I think I'm gonna put all my unicorn headband on, and I'm gonna be a unicorn.
You're gonna be a unicorn after this, okay. Now with communism having taken hold into book, Amund has dialed back her ideological fervor in exchange for a somewhat noticeable obsession for creating airplanes. The Zoni claims she gives wings for their political movement to spread with each aircraft rolling off the assembly line, and her superiors take Amund for her word. More airplanes, she said. More planes! And that, my friends, is the Russian sky princess Joya. She is now actually in the game as Almond Joy Cookies. So if you want to go and produce a whole bunch of airplanes and save the world through communism, this is how you do it. Joy, do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you think about her? Is she cute?
Yes, yes.
Look, she's even got your hair and everything.
She does.
All right. Now, you want to go be a unicorn and play with airplanes?
Yes, please.
Thank you to my friends and devs over at Equestrian War. Thank you so much. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot that I can actually help fix my manpower issue. I am constantly going to be facing that here, so ideological loyalty. I'm communist now. Because I had to delete like 70% of my army in order to maintain this. If I get attacked, I am screwed. All right, with that, we have the Commiserate of Education, which means that I'm going to be able to develop things up here for my intellectual prowess, and then finally get myself a research slot. Beautiful. Though we have done much for the education system of the Federation, the high achievers have thus far received little attention. Walnut has approved the construction of a new university in Tabuk that will provide the most talented communists, with the best education that we can provide. With that, we're not going to be so incredibly screwed. The Red Sun Yak Army wants us to sign a pact. These are the North Korean Yak. Sure, why not? Yeah. After that, we established the Ministry of Industrial Production, and then let's do the values of class struggle so we can finally remove the legacy of the storm, the issue that's been screwing us. Alright, after all that, we try to fix society. Voices of the workers. With the defeat of Chiropterra, Tabuk has become more than just another minor state in Zebrica. The work is far from done, however. Having convinced Walnut to adopt a socialist government, Duskwane must now tackle the issues that plague the working class of the newly formed United Lands of Northern Zebrica. Actually, I'm starting to actually gain my manpower back. So I think at this point, I could start producing some units, which I think I'm going to actually need. Oh, dear God. Wait a minute. Hold on. The Scarlet Scale growing. Oh, my Lord. So the more things that I do. Oh, crap. I forgot this whole system. They introduced a whole system where depending upon the focuses and bonuses you choose, this is actually something that will benefit one side or the other. Oh, Lord. That is fast. See, this is what I'm talking about. The amount of mechanics and stuff they put into the game is so interesting. The tribes are approaching. Thanks to informant in their ranks, we've been tipped off that the Zarentians are gearing up to attack us. No. I literally just started preparing. Oh, my Lord. I don't have enough troops. All right, Zarantia should still be completely and utterly backwards. So even if my troops are, a quarter trained, we can just throw them onto the battlefield and that should be fine. Yes. Yep, there it is that they go. Okay, they are launching attacks on us. That is not the best. That is not the best at all. Quick, I need to try and drive these in here and protect my forces as much as possible. There we go. Just go ahead and try and push. Surround. If we can cut them off, just keep distracting them. And get as many people into the army as we can. Okay, come on, just hold the line. We are desperately moving our forces back and forth, I'm running out of manpower. All right, for every single push that I think that I can make, I keep on getting pushed back. It's not working. Manpower, yes, please, give me all of it. Despite our policy of food for all, no matter the circumstance, it's been brought to our attention that some of the food going around might be better left uneaten. In response, Walnut has approved Duskwane's proposal to implement a national standard for food products, both imported and natively produced or made. Awesome. There we go. Come on, just push through. We can make it to their supply point. Making a new Hey! Okay, there's like little events that we keep on getting that are fixing our literacy because we're sending all the kids to school. Commie school. It's just, it's so nice. Like, look at this. This is so cute. Oh, that allows me to take the north, which means, okay, hold on. Strike while the iron is hot. Go ahead and wipe them. Oh, quick, rush the capital. Yes. With this, my friends, we will establish a United Labor Front. We will finally get ourselves back on track here. Dawn of the Unions, a hoofball union, public facilities union, anti-pony union. He'd been reading the most recent compiled list for some time, but that was the point at which Duskwane decided that he had seen enough. The Thestral's push for unions as a broader part of society and politics had worked, it seemed. New unions cropped up every day, and very few of them seemed to be unsuccessful. In fact, it seemed as though the boundaries between classes were slowly breaking down as more and more unique organizations developed around particularly subjects that interest every strata of citizen. Just today, he'd been inspecting a proposal from the FAU, the Fine Art Union, which had petitioned to collect and present historical pieces from all across the Federation in a new museum. Okay, sure. There we go. We've completely broken through the South. Now with this, we should be able to just wrap up everything. Of course, even though we're liberating people, we still need to actually, control things. Though we have achieved victory over the Legionnaires, we are still in the pockets, or there are still pockets of fanatical elites causing issues across the countryside. With Walnut's approval, Duskwane will implement police reforms aimed at bringing these criminals to justice. Yeah. But either way, with that, we finally have the fall of Zarantia. Only took forever to actually do. This, my friends, is looking pretty nice, but there is something that we haven't done here. We've been so focused on survival at this point, building up our industry, that we haven't actually developed anything that we need to show off my daughter. Which means we're going to need to focus on aircraft now. What is happening over here? Oh, dear Lord. The mountain awakes. The Sunyak army has joined. Oh my god, it's the Solar Empire. Daybreaker? Man, Equestria is tearing itself apart. The Northern Zebra Corps. Oh, Phalanges Eris. Okay. Culthage, you're about to get absolutely murdered, which means, oh dear god, I may be next up on the chopping block. Ugh. Don't worry, guys. We're just going to establish the truth. That's it. Mass media has long been an effective tool in swaying the population, and with the introduction of radio, it is now more accessible than ever. Nifton has set about the creation of a national broadcast station on paper that will provide the workers and peasants with everything that they need to know. That's it. The truth. Federated Union of Moonspeakers. After we made our intentions to preserve the temples of Chiropterra clear, a group of Moonspeakers informed us they have created an organization which seeks to help the ponies of Chiropterra come around to Walnut's administration. All they're asking for are funds to help rebuild the devastated parts of their communities and feed those that are suffering. Aw, good little nightmare creatures. Okay. The Red Moon Edict. No more will the nightmare hold dominion over this land. Let it be known the old moon treats all equally, and so shall we as well. From the meekest of the workers to the most respected of the union members, all will enjoy a prosperous and more meaningful life. Yes, indeed. Because now I can finally begin to actually core the territory here in Chiropterra. Beautiful. The death of old Chiropterra, the full moon hung high on the sky, illuminating the outdoor stage that Duskwane stood upon. Despite the late hour, hundreds had gathered to hear what the Red Moonspeaker had to say. As Dusk approached the podium, he couldn't help but glance at the moon above him. He mulled over all that had transpired since he first became a Moonspeaker, the fall of his homeland, and his newfound status in the country that had conquered it. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Dusk briefly closed his eyes. The time to put Chiropterra to rest had come. He turned his attention to the crowd in front of him. Brothers and sisters of New Ayakachili, I have come to you this evening to tell you that the sins of the Legionary Council, they who practice blind obedience to the nightmare, are the reason why Chiropterra lost so many lives in a pointless war. They who were so prideful that they failed to see how corrupted their faith had become over generations. They who thought themselves above as invincible to the end. And it was you all who paid the price for it. The Legionary Council is no more, scattered to the wind, much like the national pride many of you once felt. Some of you may still feel this way. Pride in Chiropterra. Pride the nightmare. But this is not the way forward. Our Tabukian brothers and sisters are offering to help us reforge this land into one our children can be proud of. We will not earn our salvation by merely praying for it. We must work for it. Join in labor with those around you and help bring this land out of darkness of the nightmare and into the light of the old moon. That very light shines upon us now. The old moon has always watched over us. It has done so long before the nightmare existed, and it will do so after the last memory of the nightmare fades away. It is eternal, much like its capacity for forgiveness. We must restore the old faith, the true faith. And if all this is too much, then I ask only one thing of you. Forgive the Tabukians their transgressions, for they have already forgiven us. Dear Lord, again, the amount of writing that goes into this mod is truly insane impressive. I haven't even read half the things that have popped up here. That is just how much has been actually happening. Solar Empire loses Tall Tale. Oh, hold on. We got to see exactly what is happening over there. Oh, the change thing, they're actually fighting back. They are fighting back. Oh my god, they are blitzing through this. What? What even happened here? Stalingrad threatens Equestria. Oh no. Oh my god. And would you look at that? Stability in division. I never thought this would last. Duskwane looked up at the morning paper and stared at the old stallion that was sitting across the table from him, casually smoking. That had caught him a little off guard. Did he mean their friendship, the government, and the factions? What did, just with everything, really? What with your religion and our disagreements on seemingly all things from the economy to social policy? I just thought that everything would have fallen apart by now. Somehow, it hasn't. Doesn't that surprise you? He asked, leaning over and putting his cigarette in the glass ashtray on the table. The Thestral set down his paper and thought for a moment. It was impressive in some respects that their factions within the government seemingly retained a complete parity. In fact, it was very much like a two-party democracy in that respect. The Federation was still socialist and far more progressive than that, of course, but the comparison could certainly be made. He smiled and nodded slowly. I suppose it is a little. But we've done some great things, haven't we? I think it's a fair way to say we're better off for this back and forth. Well, yes, I suppose, Nipton begrudgingly admitted. It's just not quite what I had in mind a decade ago. Yeah, taking over literally everything. Just couldn't help but laugh at that. Such is the price of compromise, comrade. Better this than the cause a headache for each other, wouldn't you say? Good point. I don't know what I'd do without you, the Earth Pony gave out, his smirk only interpreted by another 2 coughs. In the end, their friendship triumphed, giving, oh dear God, massive bonuses. Holy crap. That is actually the end of that when you actually go and balance out through everything. That is literally the end. The only thing left now to do is to take over everything with the Walnut Declaration. Since we already took out Zorantia, that means we can go and abolish the Aguilid and force sedentary life, and then, yeah, take over everything. The fall of Cantal... Oh, dear God, that is actually... Oh, the changelings are murdering them. Oh, no. What? Why? How? I have not seen the changelings actually succeed where I'm not controlling... Oh, dear God, Griffonia just tore itself apart. Well, that's fun. Oh, dear God, Phalanges Eris has taken over everything. Rosanna, what is your relation to them? Okay, you're not at war, which means the Hazarmenian Liberation Front. Can I go and declare war on anything here? No, shatter the crown of Warza. Yes, let's do it. Yep, let's just go ahead and go for it. Quick, snake our way through the back here as long as I can break through. It does not matter how many lives I lose because we are just going to tear on through. And there goes Hippogriff Warzana. Yep, we're just going to go ahead and take all that. Thank you. I'll take your navy. I'll take all this. Did I lose tens of thousands of men there? Probably, yeah. They were well fortified, but it's fine. And now we begin to integrate Warzana then. A lot can be done with a little renaming and a lot of administrative restructuring, namely the complete incorporation of a once monarchist state into a socialist one. An impressive feat to be sure, and one that the residents of Mazurum will be thankful for indeed. Now, it is time that we assess Hippogriffia. The Hippogriffs represent perhaps the greatest threat to our great paradise. Their island is defensible, their military prowess renowned, and their fighters feared, but that shall not best our revolution this day. No, indeed. Though the problem is, in this case, I don't think I can actually take them on here. Their empire is frickin' huge. Perfidious Hippogriffia, those destructive and decadent hippogriffs. Just tell them to get off the mainland. Diplomacy. Hi. Okay, hold on, wait. If the hippogriffs no longer control Zumidia's core states, a decision will become available to sue for peace with Hippogriffia. This automatically declares war. Okay, hold up. I don't think I'm in a position where this is actually feasible. Wait a minute. Didn't I just screw myself? Just tell them to get off the mainland, please. Okay. I didn't have the preparation for this. Why? You should have told me in the description that it would just declare war. Oh, no. Quick, Joya, I'm gonna need your help. Produce as many airplanes as possible. You can do it. Damn you. Why? Okay, there we go. They've extended into the desert, which means they're out of supply. But I am also out of manpower. Crap. Service by requirement. Everyone, join in. Join into the military. Thank you. It's all right. Just go in, try and push through. The moment they weaken themselves, we can turn around and attack them. There we go. Steadily push our way through. It is fine. It is okay. We can do this. We can do this. I am gradually losing more control. Okay. Quick. Use our new armor division to try and push through. All right, we pushed deep in enemy territory, but oh my God, I've lost basically everything I have in terms of resources. And I'm also out of fuel. Oh my Lord, please. No, but I completely forgot to defend my flank. No, not after all this, please. No, not my capital. No. All right, shit, I don't think there's any coming back from this here. I wish that it told me that I would have automatically declared war. I made a solid push into their land, but I can't beat the Navy here. Oh my Lord. My friends, I think that is the end of today's campaign here. Even with my overabundant production of airplanes, that doesn't help me against the hippogriffs here, which, oh my God, those bonuses. Wow. All right. Well, my friends, I think I'm dead. And as much as I would love to show off my daughter more here, I can't do much to produce airplanes. More airplanes when everything is dead. I failed my bloodline. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do this one here basically on my own, not for anything for like a video. I want to replay this here entirely myself. I want to replay a lot of these focuses I've done because this mod is just so much incredible fun. Anyway, my friends, for those of you who've been watching, thank you very much. I'm dead. I have ruined my life here. I completed everything for the industrial focus, which is nice. That's fun, and I balanced this all out, but I didn't get all this. Yeah, so that's fun. Thank you, my friends. See you next time. Goodbye, everyone.